Welcome to the BC Construction Association Integrating Newcomers program. This webinar will provide you basic construction terms to assist you at your new workplace in Canada. What is the BC Construction Association? We are an association that works for the construction industry and its employers. We offer services to support these businesses, including assisting them to find skilled workers. We know the industry, we know who the employers are, we know where the jobs are. Our program is occupation-specific employment-related services. We focus on employment in the construction industry, and there's a huge demand for workers. We have many new projects in BC and across Canada, such as LNG pipelines, residential, commercial, and institutional. We have thousands of construction company members across BC, and we are connected to associations in each province and the National Construction Association. This is useful if you want to find the right area to settle based on your profession, or to connect you with local industry in the community you have chosen. The Integrating Newcomers program has staff on Vancouver Island and in Vancouver and Kelowna. We provide one-on-one support. The more you work with the employment liaisons, the more they can do to assist you. While we recommend you do your research, search the internet and be prepared, our Integrating Newcomers program will help you prepare your resume, discuss Canadian job requirements, and connect you with employers. We know about credential requirements, training, and labor market needs. Again, do your homework, and our employment liaisons can support you on this path if you have not already started with the program. The construction industry requires many different types of vocations, from the trades to the professionals to the support occupations. Although you may not think of construction as an employer, the industry employers need accounting and administration staff, HR staff, safety coordinators, etc., as well as the traditional carpenter, electrician, welder, framer, roofer, and general laborer. Nothing gets built these days without your engineers, architects, surveyors, and many of those positions are at the technician, technologist level. There are many opportunities in the construction industry. Companies are continually looking for workers in all areas of the business. And now I'd like to introduce Don Cameron, an experienced member of the construction industry who will explain construction terms.
Thank you, Leslie. Hello everyone, my name is Don Cameron and I have over 40 years experience in the construction industry in British Columbia and across Canada. My experiences started in the consulting business. I went on to work in government and eventually in the general contracting side of things. I have extensive experience in civil construction and am a past chair of the Vancouver Island Construction Association. The following slides will show you visually the term that we are discussing. Air barrier, the combination of durable, structurally supported, and impermeable materials incorporated into the building envelope, continuous around the interior conditioned volume of the building, inclusive of ceiling, exterior walls, windows, doors, foundation walls, and floors, and sealed together to stop the indoor-outdoor movement of air. Assembly area, a meeting or gathering spot in the event of an emergency. Authorized personnel, having official permission or approval to negotiate contractual issues and/or personnel permitted on site. Benchmark, the elevation of a known point from which all other new elevations are established. Batter board, a board set adjacent to an excavation and used as a reference point to level and align the work. Building envelope. A building envelope is a physical separator between the conditioned and unconditioned environment of a building, including the resistance to air, water, heat, light, and noise transfer. Building inspector. Construction and building inspectors ensure that construction meets local and national building codes and ordinances. zoning regulations, and contract specifications. They also inspect electrical, plumbing, foundations, and all aspects of construction. Catch basin. A subgrade chamber usually built at the curb line of a street for the admission of surface water to a storm sewer or subdrain, and that has a sediment sump designed to retain solids and other deleterious materials. Conduit. Electrical. A pipe, usually metal or PVC, in which wire is installed. Curtain wall. A thin wall whose weight is carried directly by the structural frame of the building and which supports no vertical load other than its own weight. Datum line. In surveying, the baseline from which all lines or levels are taken. Elevation. The two-dimensional face of a building represented on architectural drawings, typically the east and west end elevations. 2. The reference to height or contour in relation to datum. Excavate. To dig or scoop out earth as for a foundation or underground pipeline. Foundation. The supporting portion of a structure below the first floor construction, or below grade including the footings, typically buried at a depth to avoid frost effects. Framing. Lumber used for the structural members of a building, such as studs, joists, and rafters. Groundwater. Subsurface water located within the porous spaces in soil, sediment, and rocks. Groundwater originates from rain and melting snow and ice and is a source of water for aquifers, springs, and wells. The upper surface of groundwater is the water table. HVAC, an abbreviation for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Load-bearing wall includes all exterior walls and any interior wall that is aligned above a support beam or girder, normally any wall that has a double horizontal top plate. Non-load-bearing wall, a wall supporting no load other than its own weight. Lockup, the stage of residential construction at which point the walls, windows, and doors are in place so the structure may be secured prior to finishing the interior. National Building Code is a set of rules that specify the standards for constructed objects such as buildings and non-building structures. The main purpose of building codes is to protect public health, safety, and general welfare as they relate to the construction and occupancy of buildings and structures. The building code becomes law of a particular jurisdiction when formally enacted by the appropriate governmental or private authority. R factor, a measure of insulating materials, a value given building materials resistant to the passage of heat. The higher the R value, the more insulating power it has. For example, typical new homes walls are usually insulated with 4 inches, 100 millimeters of bad insulation, which has an R value of 13. Ceiling insulation, which is thicker, has an R value of 30. Reinforcing. Reinforced concrete, concrete to which tensile bearing materials such as steel rods or mesh is added for tensile strength. It is used in concrete floors, columns, and beams, as well as suspended concrete slabs. Reinforcing mesh, or welded wire mesh, is a grid of welded steel wires used to resist tension stresses in concrete slabs. Reinforcing steel are the steel bars used in concrete construction to provide tensile strength and come in various diameters. Rough-in, the installation of plumbing, heating, electrical, and other items that will be covered in later stages of construction. Structure, something built or constructed as a building, bridge, or dam. Tensile strength, the ability of a structure or structural member to resist tension. Tension, a force that pulls or stretches in two directions. Vapor barrier, material used in the house envelope to retard the passage of water vapor, called a vapor retarder in the United States. This ends our terminology webinar. Further terms may be found in a PDF.
I hope you enjoyed this webinar on construction terminology. If you need to remember these terms, make flashcards and review them regularly. This will be a great way to impress your new employer and be prepared for the Canadian workplace. Don't forget to also check in with the Integrating Newcomer program and the employment liaisons who can help you further.